Hey guys, Joe Pye here at Advanced Innovations. Welcome back to the shop. The shorty video that I am going to shoot for you moments from now is going to hopefully sink in and be a trick that you will keep with you forever. Because when it comes to squaring up material from a piece of raw stock, decking the top off, pressing it against the back, getting a piece of wire, decking that off, use a little file, flip it over, tap it down, ride, rinse, repeat. By the time you're done, you have wasted so much time. This trick is one of those bulletproof, I should have thought of that years ago. And it's a fantastic way to approach a raw block. You don't need 1, 2, 3 blocks, you don't need spacers, you don't need wire, you don't need a square, you don't need anything. You walk up to the machine, parallels, cutter in, boom, done. Fantastic, you're gonna like it. Let's take a walk out, watch it happen. This is a piece of 1x2 by about 2 inch long 6061 aluminum. It is saw cut on both ends and all the saw burrs have been removed. Now the normal procedure that I've seen a lot of people follow is put this on some shallow parallels, deck the top off, deburr it, press the new side against the stationary jaw on the back, put a ball, put a wire, put a lollipop, whatever against this surface here, smash it down, clean this off, flip it over against your parallels, do the exact same thing, deck this off. Now that you have 2 parallel sides and 1 flat, back on the parallels, deck the top. Alright, now we have a parallel block with 2 square sides. You set it up, you squeeze it, you do some kind of Mickey Mouse indication or God knows what. Let's actually, this way, put a little square in there, a little 1, 2, 3 block, and you get it to go like this. Squeeze it, deck it, flip it, boom, parallel, dust it off, done. No, that is not the way to do it. I'm going to show you a good trick. It's going to give you everything you need in one shot. One shot. Watch this. Using a 3/4 inch 2 flute high speed cutter, I have this 1/8 of an inch worth of grip here. The more grip you have, the more likelihood of this block being skewed by the grip. If your part is unsure about how square everything is and you want it to sit flat on parallels, use tall parallels. Good place to start. All right, let's watch what happens. Hint number 1, because of the rotation of the cutter spinning clockwise and doing basically a climb cut towards the outside, any burr that would be created is driven into the material and removed. It's basically non-existent burrs, front and rear. Tip number 2, take a very light superficial pass around the entire part. If you have sufficient material that you can grip on and remove at a later operation, finish the net shape of the part right now. Finish it. You've got 5 sides accessible. You might as well address 5 sides. But make sure whatever web you leave gripped down here on the jaw, that it doesn't flex from the pressure and drive the part up, changing some of your dimensions. I'm going to step over to my well-used Scotch-Brite wheel, put on my Superman cape, take the burrs off. I'll be right back. Okay, big deal, you say. You have a nice top deck and you have dusted off all 4 sides of the block. What does that effectively get you? Well, you can now decrease the height of your parallels, and when you tighten the parallel down using a dead blow hammer, not a brass hammer because they bounce, tap this part down against your parallels and both parallels should lock. You have nice square corners to deal with. It is okay to flip the part over and go for the large side parallel cut right now. Let's do it. Tight as a rock. Once the part is secured against the parallels, you know you're going to create 2 large parallel surfaces. No better condition for squaring up the sides than to grip a part on 2 large parallel surfaces. Let's do it. Okay, the 4 sides done initially are going to serve 2 purposes. This is purpose number 1. It gives you parallel and square corners to do the back large side operation. Normally that's not the way to do it because you can't trust that the sides are square to the bottom. This way you can trust it. Now watch this. This is the money right here. No goofing around. Take the parallels out. Take the part out. Springs out. Shorty parallel. Okay, normally you're going to hang it off the side of the block, right? Hang it off the end of the vise, put another piece down on the end, tap it down, boom, 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 waste a lot of time. No. Short parallel right now against the back. One of the 4 finished edges that you have to work with is now your square. When that sits in there against that parallel, it is going to sit this block in there square. You can't miss. There you go. You don't need a square. You don't need any assistance at all. That block is now positioned in there perfectly square to the sides that are vertical. And this side up here is now true to the world. It's just a fantastic way to do it. You can clean this block up now and take all the extra material off, take it down to size, create your other features, do whatever you have to do. It is truly pointless to show that at this time. I guess I'll do it anyway. Let's run through it. Why not? Time cutting from the outside controls that burr. Remember that. That is just absolutely beautiful. Going deep in the jaws like this is going to guarantee you got a nice vertical surface. I do this all the time without tapping it down. It works. Little Z adjustment. Here we go. This would be the spot where you would put your 1x2 by 3 blocks in there, use your square, mess around trying to get this side true, because chances are this was raw material and you had something to tap down against too. But this is a true surface. This is square to this and this. So now we use the other side. Okay, down it goes. When I flip this over, I am not going to do the climb cut, just so you can see the difference in the edge that it leaves. Any burrs that are present with a climb style are superficial. I would still file them off, of course, but I'm going to do the next one in a conventional format and show you how many more burrs this can actually form. Okay, this is the edge that we're looking for right here. We're going to compare these. I'm going to do the front and the rear opposite. We're going to call this the conventional approach, and the one that is not marked will be the climb approach. Same depth. Let's take a look. I don't want this thing off camera for a second. Nobody's going to be able to complain about nothing here. Here we go. Front side conventional approach. Got some hangers, got some serious hangers on there. Back side. Not going to lie to you, there is witness of material displacement. You can feel it. But it's not like the saw blade you're going to find on the front. You're not going to find any of this heavy stuff with the climb approach. There you go. 4 sides perfectly square, 2 sides parallel. Minutes. That is the way to go. And like I said, if you can get the net shape out of the part and still have material to grab onto, use the exact same technique. 5 sides in the first setup, flip it, deck it, done. I'm going to do a T-nut video just to prove how well it works. And when you do a side-to-side movement like this, if you record your numbers, it also gives you the center line of the part. This is bulletproof. Enjoy. Alright, I promised you something valuable to take with you forward, and if this was one of those palm to the forehead moments where you go, geez, why don't I think of that? Hit that subscribe button down there, help me grow my channel. I will not steer you wrong. The advice that I give you is born of experience. I'm just going to leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Stay well, stay safe. Joe Pine, Advanced Innovations in Austin, Texas. I'm out.